What's good, guys? Prince Sports here, and I want to talk to you about none other than so-called up-and-coming star Anthony Edwards. Now, he's presumed to be the next Michael Jordan, okay? Mainly because he put that hype on himself. He said, if I grow a couple inches, I could become the next Michael Jordan if I get 6'6", stuff like that. And a lot of people ran with it, you know. He has the killer instinct, the drive, you know, of a young, ambitious Michael Jordan. Okay, which is cool, but that's pretty much the same young ambition that any new player that came into the league. You gotta have that swag, that confidence, and he's at a stage in his career where he has the green light. He could even stat pad because it doesn't have to be stat pad turned up all the way up, but he can stat pad just a little bit, like 50 Cent would say, because this is his time to do it. Now he's a young player. Um, Nobody's gonna judge players when they haven't hit their peak, because we always want to see you at your best. That's what your peak is. All right. Nobody judged LeBron James really until he started around 2008, 2009. That was the beginning of the LeBron James era. Same thing with Michael Jordan. 1984, 5, 6, he was just a young baby on the come up. Now, he has some good performances, individual performances, but he wasn't on the championship contender, and he wasn't somebody that you're going to take serious and say he's the best player in the league. He didn't hit that status yet, okay? He was not a top 5 player until about the late 80s. Then you could sit there and say, hey, he was the best player in the world, and from there on, you already see what happened. But with Anthony Edwards, my thing is give the kid a try first. All right? Let's see what happens before we start saying he's this, he's that. Because we're not going to judge this kid until he hits his peak. Show me what you got when you hit that time of your prime and you become on a championship contender. Can you be an alpha number one? Can you lead your team to the finals, lead them to the playoffs? Come give me a talk then. Okay? Because I keep the same energy for every player. This is why I don't really pay attention or address him too much like that. Because he got a lot of learning to do. He got to do his baby steps. He got to practice and become a great player, in prime player. It happens to everybody. Kobe didn't really hit his prime until like the early 2000s. But he got drafted, 1996? So it takes time. Every player, it takes time. All right? So what is unfair is when you try to rate a player when he's a sophomore or a rookie and compare that to a player that's in his prime on a championship contender. Absolutely makes no sense. I see a lot of fanboys do this, and it's not an equal comparison. You want to do an equal comparison, compare a rookie to a rookie, compare a baby to a baby, but you don't compare a 2-year player in a league to a top 5 player. It's the same thing with Anthony Edwards. So for all you sitting there, well, he ain't this, he ain't that, he hasn't even hit his prime yet. Okay? We don't know what the hell he could be. He could be the next Michael Jordan. Who knows? Everybody's story is a little bit different. You don't know what it's going to come out to be, but sit back and wait. Let the kid hit his prime first. Let's see what he got, if he can hit his prime. Because once you step foot in the league, that's not your ceiling. Your prime is your ceiling. That's the best we're going to get from you. And that is the highest level of play that you're going to get from that player. Okay? Once you hit your peak, that's it. That's your very best. You may have a season or two when you can sit there and say it was better than another season that I had when I was in my prime. But nevertheless, that is your time frame. That is your window. Okay? And what you do when that window is open while you in your prime, that's what matters the most. That what helps out your legacy. 3 stages of a player's career. You got the show me years. I just came into the league. I got to get my numbers, prove to the world that I could play, get some individual accolades, dunk on a couple of cats, score some high-scoring games. Then there's the prime era. Okay, I did all of the other stuff. It's time for me to start winning. It's time for me to prove to the world I'm a top 5 player in the game. Then there's your third stage, which is your legendary stage. And that's your stage of, okay, my window is almost closing. I got a couple championships. Now I gotta see where I rank amongst the greats. That's it. And then after that, you're done. You're gone. Okay? That's it. And Anthony Edwards is in the very first stage of his career. So give the guy a chance first. Then we see. But a lot of people are acting like this guy's in his prime already. He hasn't even hit his prime yet. So pump the brakes. Fanboys and media. Just pump the brakes. Prince Sports out. Peace.